Okay, so you know I'm late. So I'm closer to on time than normal. Okay, so today is stretch day. Nothing special, no workout. Um, I'm still trying to find a stretch routine that I like. Again, if I can't find something to follow along, 'cause I would prefer to follow along something. Like I follow, I did make my own charts, my own workout charts, my own routine for that. But then again, I am following along the chart. Um, and I know how to stretch myself from head to toe. It's not a big deal. I can walk myself through it, no big deal, and walk you guys through it. Um, there's a couple more on here that are about 30 minutes, which is fine. 30 minutes is fine. I don't believe you're going to get a good stretch in any less than 30 minutes for a full body stretch. I don't see it happening. You can go through it real quick. If I just start doing this, okay, I'm good. Okay, I'm good. You know, you gotta get a when you're doing a stretch. I mean, they're fine if you're going to do a daily stretch. That's not a big deal. But if you want that weekly stretch, that good, deep, full body, everything stretch for the end of the week, you need at least a half hour to work on everything, because it's got to be deep, because before your workout and after your workout you can sit here and go like this, do all this stuff, do this, okay, I'm stretched out, I'm good, got a nice little, feels nice, go work out. You're loosened up a little bit. That's all you need, You can do a good stretch in 5 minutes or so. Even if you're going to do your full body, which is, some people might want to work 2-3 days a week and do a full body. I don't think that's a good idea, but yeah, like I said, the end of the week stretch, the one you're going to get that's just going to, after all that build up of tightness from the workout, which I really don't have doing my workout. My workout's not made for that, but we will get into that later. You need at least 30 minutes for a good full body stretch, and I do like the P90X one to a point, but I think it's stretched out too long, and it has a few things there that doesn't even need to be in there. That Turbo Fire one, I think it's just kind of, it's a nice relaxing stretch, but it's not like that full body thing, The one I did last week, that Sydney Cummings one, was a good stretch. It was definitely a good stretch. But it wasn't quite what I was looking for. So I'm going to keep scrolling through YouTube on some of these things, see if I can find something to follow that's at least 30 minutes. There's only a good handful. Some are like, they say they're like 30 minutes, and then it says it's for beginner stretching. So if that's you, if you're a beginner and you want a good stretch, you can do these beginning stretches. You don't have a lot of flexibility. I have always been flexible. Even when I'm stiff, I can still go down in the splits without stretching. Because the older I get, the more it hurts, but I can still do it. But I used to be able to just drop down, come right back up, no big deal. A few years later, I drop down, come back up. I'm like, and then a few years later, I drop back down, I go back up, and the next 10, 15, 20 minutes, I feel it. I've always been loose. I don't know what to call it, double jointed. Even this, I used to be able to swing it back. I had to kind of push it over, but. So I'm doing stretches that work for me, and again, anything you do can be modified to fit you. I can bend over and I can touch the floor. If you can't touch the floor, don't try to touch the floor. Go as far as you can. That's the whole reason these videos are set up the way they are. Do what you can. Right? Same thing with these workouts. Any workout you do. I know I'm rambling again, but this is the end of the week, so I'm going to try to keep it recapped in total and into the workout as opposed to going off on a tangent about computers and DoorDash and other shit. Every workout, you can follow along with what the big guy who looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger at the gym does. You can do his routine, but you're not grabbing the same weights as him, obviously. You know, you got to do exactly what I do. He picks up 50-pound dumbbells to curl. You can't do that. You know, well, I'm sure some of you can, but look like me, you can't do that. I can't do that. You know, so if he's doing 5 sets of 6, I'm probably going to grab the 15 to 20 pounders. I might not even finish the whole sets, you know. So everything can be modified to work for you. Everything. It's as simple as aerobic work, cardio work, jumping on the treadmill, and an actual full workout. You know, everything can be modified to fit to you or your needs. You don't have a cable machine, you can find ways. You can't do pull downs, you can do pull-ups. You can get the bar. You can spend $20, get one of those bars over your door frame. They're probably a little more expensive than that. Can't do a pull-up, get a chair. You can do assisted pull-ups. That makes up for your pull downs. Can't do tricep push downs, you can do kickbacks. Can't do cable kickbacks or leg swings, you can get ankle weights. Everything can be modified to do the exact same exercises that I'm doing on these machines. The only issue I'm going to say you might have is doing calf raises. Even calf raises you can do. You can grab some, you can do them on the floor if you need to. But if you can find something that works, you can do single calf raises on the stairs. You know, you can hold on to the railing, hold a dumbbell, you know, and you can do single calf raises. The only issue you're going to have is doing actual squats, weighted squats, if you don't have a squat rack, because after so long, it's going to be very hard for you to get that bar over your head if you have room for a bar. I have room, but it's very. Before I got this, I was trying to throw a couple, 100, 125 pounds. I know it's not a lot, but look at me, I don't need a lot. Over my head. I mean, I was bringing it down, come up here. I was doing the whole, trying to get up over my head. You know, it wasn't having it. Trying to avoid hitting this at the same time. I was more at risk of injuring myself than actually getting my squats done when I was doing weight that I needed to do to try to build muscle. But then again, you can do lunges. You don't have to do squats, you can do lunges. Lunges are going to do the same thing for you. I mean, this is going to, you're still right there, this leg here, and now you're doing a quad workout over here. Switch back and forth, You're still getting most of that in there. You can modify anything to make it work for you and your needs and your area and what you have to work with. Dumbbells are not expensive until you start getting to the heavy ones. Now, I believe like 15-pounders, two 15-pounders probably cost about the same as one of those 40-pounders. The aerobic weights are very cheap. They're like they're a couple bucks each. They seem to be about $1 a pound, roughly. And then the heavier you get, the cheaper per pound they get. A little bit. They went up in price during COVID. But COVID magically disappeared. I know it's not gone. Don't jump in my shit. It doesn't disappear. It's not important anymore. Other things are important, so we'll leave COVID on the side. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. Yeah, it's just anything can be modified to fit your needs. All right, so done with the ramble. Done, promise. If anybody's even telling me. Somebody's saying, I gotta put my glasses on. My other glasses, my small glasses are upstairs. Rex Kwando. Rex Kwando. Taekwondo? I didn't take any Kwando, if that's what you're asking me. I took Ishinryu Karate, I took Kwamakan Karate, I did a little, very, very little Praying Mantis Kung Fu. I also did very little of, the dojo was called Ho Chun, but it was Sheng Chao, Chinese wrestling, I believe is what it was called. It was 20-some years ago. And they also taught actual, Tai Chi and stuff like that, like what Tai Chi actually is. Because if you don't know, you probably think of Tai Chi as just all of this, relaxing stuff they do, in videos and stuff, which you can do it that way. But if you know exactly what those moves are deadly. I mean, if you actually learn Taekwondo, if you actually learn Tai Chi for what it actually is, you could hurt somebody badly, easily and badly. Just saying. If you want some quick, easy ways to take somebody out, learn Tai Chi the proper way. Yeah, so if that's what you're asking, no, I wasn't in that. Okay, so this is the end of week 4. So this makes day 20. This is day 28. Today's May 8th. Happy Mother's Day to any mothers that might be watching. If you're not a mother and you have a mother still, go say Happy Mother's Day. It might have sounded kind of insensitive the way I said it. Wasn't my intention. Anyway, it's day 28. I do my weekly, obviously. I do my weigh-in, and my measurements. For measurement, I only do one measurement right now, which is my waistline. So I do my weight and measurement once a week, every Sunday. I started on my birthday, which was April 10th. It has now been 4 weeks, 28 days. Today is May 8th. That is the closest Sunday I'm going to get to 1 month. There's no point in me taking my measurements again in 1 month, or in 2 days. That would be kind of dumb and pointless and a waste of time. So, just for future reference during this program, my monthly progress pictures and weigh-ins will be the Sunday that is the closest to the 10th of the month to make it a month. So this month it's 28 days, it's 2 days before the 10th. Next month it'll be the 12th because it's 2 days afterwards. The Sunday before that will be 5 days before the 10th. So closest Sunday will be it. So there's going to be a 4-week month, there's going to be a 5-week month. It's going to happen that way. Usually it's like 4, 4, 5, 5, 4, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 4, 5, something like that, some weird number. So, like I said, next month it'll be 5 weeks. So when you see my progress pictures in my fitness journey playlist on TikTok and on YouTube, you'll see that the date doesn't exactly line up, but it's the closest to the month I'm going to get by taking the pictures every Sunday, because you and I all know that the weeks don't line up with the months perfectly. Alright, so that being said, I am going to go ahead and let you know my monthly, or my first month's progress results, whatever. And for YouTube, let me see here. I'm going to put the progress pictures up right here on the YouTube video, and then again I will make my update progress video on TikTok and put that in the fitness journey playlist. All right, so I started right before I started. I weighed in. I was at 201.08, 201 pounds, 201.8 pounds. This morning I got on the scale. I was 195.4. I lost 6.4 pounds. Now the body fat percentage, if you've been listening, those scales are not perfect. They fluctuate. They will go up and down. Even though you've lost weight, you've lost inches, it might be higher. In this case today, it was a little bit higher. Because last week, I started at 32.5 and I got down to 28.7 last week. This morning it came in at 29.1. Now that's not the only time I've seen that happen. It fluctuates. It's based off of water in your body. You know, it measures the resistance through your body. They have little pads on the scale. If you know what I'm talking about, those electronic body fat measuring scales. The pads need to be perfectly clean. You have to have the same amount. Now my water percentage has always been roughly about 50%. At least that's what it says on the scale. But it fluctuates. So as long as it's not jumping up like by 2-3%, you're fine. If it's jumping up like just a couple points, I wouldn't even worry about it. It's just the guide. Okay, the body fat percentage and the BMI are just guides. There's nothing you need to worry about. Worry about the measurements and the weight that you're looking for. So if you're looking to lose weight, make sure that's going down. If you're looking to lose fat, make sure that's going down. If you're looking to gain weight, you know, you're skinny, you want to put on muscle, make sure it's going up. Don't worry about the percentage to be exact unless you're, no. If you're using any type of body fat measuring at home, it doesn't have to be exact as long as it's going in the right direction most of the time. So there's that. So anyway, I've roughly lost about 3.5% body fat. And as far as my waist measurement, which is the only measurement I'm really concerned about right now because that is the fattest portion on my body, I started at 46.25, 46.25 inches. And I got on the scale, I was 44.5 this morning. 44.5 inches this morning. So I've lost 1 3/4 of an inch, which is about a little above average for 4 weeks, at least in my experience in the times that I've lost and gained weight, lost and gained weight. Usually that first month I've dropped about 1 1/4, 1 1/2, so it's about right there. It's good. Now, for those of you who are a lot heavier, heavier sets than me, you're going, even if you're doing less than what I've been doing, you're still probably going to shed more pounds off your body in the same time that I am. And just so you know, if you don't know, the longer you go, the more in shape you get, the harder it's going to be to get that last little bit going. Okay, so you could be dropping it, you know, ½ inch to an inch a week, and then about 6 months into it, you're dropped down to like 3/4 to a ½ inch, and then, you know, and the last little bit when you get down to like 15% body fat, you're like, this last little bit of shit's not coming off. You're all mad and frustrated. That last little bit takes a lot more work to get off. Your diet needs to be tighter. Your workout needs to be tighter, you know, more on point. But to start out, if you haven't done anything, just changing your diet and starting to work out is going to help. So if anybody like that Jimmy kid wanted to make fun of me using pink and purple weights and doing, you know, no weight squats and things like that, it still works. If you're at that point, it works. Okay. Like I said, this first segment, which ends after next week, of 1 to 30, very little to low, 0 to no weights. Yeah, I'm dumb. Little to no weight, high rep, one set is designed to be cardio, muscle endurance, not building. It's fat loss. It's a fat loss routine while you're still doing weight training. It's weight training, okay? It's not muscle building, all right? We won't get into that for probably about 3-4 more months or something like that. That's when we start muscle building while still fat burning. So yeah, the routine has so far shown that it does work, and I'm happy with it. And I'm looking forward to continuing through this and seeing how it's going to turn out by the end of the year, as we change set to rep ratios. That's all we're doing. We are changing set to rep ratios. We are not changing the workout routine at all. Every day is going to be the exact same thing. Day 1 is going to be chest, shoulders, triceps. Day 4 is going to be chest, shoulders, and tricep with different exercises. Nothing's going to change other than the set to rep ratio all the way through it. Then obviously we have a recovery weeks, which will be something different for the 1 week. That's it. That being said, I'm done rambling. It's time to stretch. So I found this one. It's called 30-minute full body stretching exercises. The title's long. How to stretch to improve flexibility and mobility routine. It's from Has Fit. Like he has something in his hand. Has Fit. Looks like it's a couple. I'm not sure if they're a couple. It's a guy and a girl. So there's a couple of people in there. I will link this on the YouTube video as well to this exact video, so they get credit for it, even though you're not watching it on my screen, but you'll hear it. I'm doing it, you're watching me do it, so I want to make sure that they get the credit due, okay? Nobody's paying me for anything. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm just trying to bring you a good workout. So if you're following me, great. If you're watching me, great. If not, that's cool too. But I'm live streaming to keep myself accountable, to keep myself down here. I'm recording and posting them for documentation purposes. And again, if I inspire somebody to join me or follow along, great. Even better. That's awesome. So, all right, I'm done talking. I've been talking way too long. I didn't think I was going to talk that long. That's kind of dumb of me to say. I didn't think I was going to talk that long. I always talk that long. All right, I want to grab my mat. I'm not sure if they're using mats, but I'm sure they are. Not sure. I've never done this. Never watched it. We'll see. So you can consider this basically a review of this video. Next week, I have no reason to keep talking that much. Now, I understand the recovery week, I will have to explain what I'm doing. And then when we switch to 2 of 15, I'll have to re-explain how we're doing the workout. But anyway, that's enough of that. We're going to turn this on, we're going to start this, we're going to go.
What's up, HasFit Tribe? It's your personal trainer, Coach Kozak.
And I'm Claudia, and this is a full body stretching routine.
This static stretching flow will improve your flexibility and mobility throughout your entire body.
There's absolutely no equipment that's required, but you may want to grab a mat for some of the floor movements.
If you're ready, let's get started.
Microphones. Oh, that's a preview. There's the microphone that Britney Spears always wore. You know, the whole big thing that's huge in the early 2000s. All the artists were wearing instead of actually carrying a microphone. That's what they have. Not sure why they need that in a small space like that, but maybe they don't have boom mics. I'm not sure why they need to do that long of a preview before starting.
Visa is a network that protects your purchases, so you can
If
shop
this has
online.
ads all the way through it, I'm gonna be very
Cancel
angry.
this, and try this. With zero liability, you're not responsible for unauthorized charges. Wherever your passion takes you,
See, I
pay
should have
securely
watched
with
it
Visa.
first. It's like waiting for me to stop talking. That's how it feels to me.
Let's get started on our feet with an upper
Okay.
body stretch. We're going to start with the
Just in case.
posterior shoulder stretch. So we're going to take one arm, reach it across your body, keeping your shoulders nice and square so you don't want to rotate as you do it, and try your best to pull that bicep to your chest. Now, throughout today's routine, your flexibility may be greater or less than us, and we encourage you to make each and every move work for you. So that means you may be able to pull it further than us, or you may be about right here, and that's okay too. Just breathe and hold through the static stretch for 3, 2, 1, 0. Excellent. All right, let's even it out. Do the opposite side next. Pulling across. So it's a posterior shoulder stretch. This is a great one for your chest, shoulders, as well as your upper back. Also a good one to improve that posture. Nice big deep breaths as we hold. You may find that one side is looser or tighter than the other, and that's totally normal. And let's hold this one for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. All right, go ahead and shake that one loose. Let's do another shoulder move next. This one specifically is going to target your rotator cuffs. So I'm going to take my right hand, I'm going to place it at the small of my back, behind my back.
And I'm actually going to place my right hand on my hip.
Now with that opposite side hand, we're going to grab the elbow and gently pull it forward,
Let's do it.
and then just hold. Now again, depending on your flexibility level, it's really going to determine where you place that hand at. And if you're not so flexible in your shoulders, go ahead and put it on your hip, like Claudia is doing, or even in front, and keep that hand
It's
on
different.
your stomach as you pull forward. And you make this workout, this routine work for you. Just holding gently, gentle pressure here for 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, shake it loose, and you guessed it, opposite side next. Again, the small of your back or on your hip, and then pull forward on that elbow. Now, in all of these static stretching moves that we're going to do today, your goal is to get to about between 85 to 90% of what you're capable of. You want to feel a good stretch, but at the same time, you don't want to be feeling any significant pain. We're not trying to tear the cartilage or build up any scar tissue here. We're just trying to improve our flexibility. Again, nice,
Definitely would
big,
pull too
deep
hard on
breaths. Holding this one for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, we're going to need either a wall or a doorway for the next one. We're going to move on to a bent arm wall stretch. So with that elbow at a 90-degree angle, go ahead and place it on a wall or a doorway. And then we're going to keep our body nice and close to that wall, and we're going to rotate away from that wall, feeling the stretch in our chest, our shoulders, a little bit in our back as well.
Goodness gracious.
All right, feeling this one today, Claudia?
Mm-hmm.
Must be your workout from yesterday kicking in.
Cheesier than I
Yep.
am.
And again, depending where you are in your workout cycle and really just your life and environmental factors, some of these may be easy for you, and some of them may be kicking your behind. That's okay, totally normal.
Feels nice though.
Yes, it does. Again, holding it between 85 to 90% of what you're capable of. And let's hold this one for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Opposite side now. Again, keeping that elbow bent at a 90-degree angle. Also trying to have that elbow in line with your shoulder, so you don't want it low, but instead keeping it up. And let's rotate and turn away from that wall and hold. We got another great one to bring you to loosen up your chest and bring those shoulders back to help you improve your posture. And we spend so much time between staring at our phones and sitting down at a desk and driving and just all those environmental factors that really hurt our posture. So it's important that we do moves like this to regain that natural upright posture.
And this is something great to do at the office too.
Definitely. Throughout the day, get up, move around, get a couple of stretches in.
Get the blood flowing.
Let's hold this one for 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, we're going to stay over at that wall for the next one, but we're going to move to the lower body, and we're going to do a standing dorsiflex. So go ahead and get nice and close to the wall. We're going to put your balls of your feet and your toes up on that wall, and then we're going to apply pressure into the wall.
Make sure you can see
and
it.
bring that knee over your foot. You're going to feel a stretch in the bottom of your foot as well as your calf. This is a great one to loosen up your calves, your Achilles tendon, as well as the bottom of your foot, that plantar fascial. You know, so many people have trouble with, especially runners or people that, so many females that wear high heels to work, which is Claudia's story. Her feet were so beat up from years in corporate America wearing heels.
And I'm still trying to gain my ankle mobility because it's horrible.
So this is also a great one for that ankle mobility. Good point, thank you. So again, just bringing that knee over the foot, feeling that stretch. And the closer you get that heel to the wall, the more intense of a stretch it'll be for you. And let's switch sides. 3, 2, 1, 0. Opposite side now. And again, driving that ball of the foot into the wall, and then bringing your knee forward. And the closer that heel is, the harder it will be. And the further back you place your heel, the easier it will be. You decide which variation is right for you. Okay. Taking nice, big, deep breaths here. And let's hold this one for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Excellent. Okay, next we're going to actually move on to a neck stretch. So specifically, this is for your levator scapulary, which is this major neck muscle here on the side. So let's take your right arm and place it, and right hand and place it up on your trap, that elbow up. Now with your opposite side hand, your left hand, let's take the top and crown of your head and we're going to pull it down into the left. So we're pulling down in this direction, keeping this hand up on your trap, and we're just going to hold. Breathe.
Not much of a range of motion before you actually begin to feel that big stretch in your neck.
No, and then the purpose of this position is to really isolate that muscle and just really stretch that muscle in particular. Just hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Excellent. Okay, switching it up. Opposite side now. I think Claudia's really feeling this one today.
Yeah.
All right, opposite
Do
side
much.
shoulder. And pull your head down and across. And you can kind of play with what the right angle is for you. Again, you're really trying to target this levator scapulae here on the side. And again, totally common for one side to be tighter than the other. For me, this side's definitely tighter. Another great one to do if you spend a lot of time at a desk or driving or
Staring at your phone.
any behavior that encourages a forward head tilt. This is a great one to counteract. For 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, come on back up.
That's a good one.
I
Shake
think
it
I would
loose.
enjoy
All right,
people who
moving
talk
into
too
a
much.
quadricep stretch, moving into the lower body, we're going to do a standing quad stretch. So you can either do this one from a freestanding position, or you can do this one with a wall or a chair for support. So I'll use the wall for support. We're going to pull back, bring that heel to your glutes the best that you can, keeping good balance. little soft bend in that opposite side knee. We want to try to keep that knee in close to our side. A lot of times you have a tendency to bring it out here.
To flare it out.
But if you do, it really does you a disservice and doesn't allow you to target that quadriceps. So try to keep it nice and close into your side on this one.
If you're doing the freestanding one, just fix your eyes on something, focus.
And that opposite
Really helps
side
you.
arm up helps too.
That's right, it does help with your balance too.
So again, make it work for you. And we're just holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Boston.
Sorry, and again, this doubles as a
Yeah.
balance move too, right? Nothing wrong with that, a little extra credit. Okay, switching to the opposite side now. Again, pulling back. I can see my left side is a little tighter than my right.
Yep, mine too.
And again, very common. Pulling back to 85, 90% of what you can. You can feel that good stretch, but don't go too crazy. Trying your best to get that heel back to your glute. You may be way more flexible than us or not quite as flexible as we are, and that's all right. Again, just make this routine your own. And let's hold this one for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. Shake them loose again. Moving on to a hamstring stretch. So we're going to move into a straight leg, one leg hamstring stretch. Just put one leg out on that heel. Slight bend in that opposite side knee, but this leg stays straight. Now, we're going to use our hips as a hinge. Bring those hips bending over from the hips, and we feel that stretch in our hamstring. Now, it doesn't take a lot of range of motion on this one. Keep your shoulders square, head in line with your spine. This one's really going to isolate the back of that lead leg. And again, not trying to like bend over and turn it into a squat, but
This
instead
one's definitely
using
designed
those
to be
hips
wearing shoes.
as a hinge and then hold. Again, breathing through it. If you want a little extra calf stretch on this one, you can do so by pulling back on the toes, or you can relax the toes and really just make it a hamstring stretch. I'll let you decide. And let's hold this one for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Excellent. Right into that next side here. No wasting time. We got places to go, people to see. Come on. Weight back in the hips, bending over at a hinge. Don't mind my corny jokes throughout. They'll be scattered. There's a reason why I'm not a comedian. All right. Bending over at the hips. Shoulders are square. Weight back in
Say
those
the
hips.
same shit I say, but it's irritating.
Really feeling that hamstring stretch. Again, try your best to keep your head in line with your spine and your shoulders back so you're not hunched over. But instead, keeping everything else nice and straight. And let's hold this one for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Back up. All right, let's go. One last move on our feet. We're going to do a standing IT band stretch. So your IT band is also known as your iliotibial band. Runs from here down to your knee. Often gets tight if you're doing dynamic exercises, running, plyometrics. So we're going to step behind with our right leg. And now with our right arm, we're going to reach up and over, driving that right hip to our right side. We're going to feel that stretch all down our side, our obliques, and right in through that iliotibial band. Keeping good posture while you do so. Shoulders are back, so you're not bending over forward, but only bending over to the side. And really focus on taking that right hip and
Popping it out.
Popping it out, that's it. You got it. Again, breathing and holding. And let's do this one for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Relax. And let's move right into that opposite side. Try not to fall over. Okay, let's take our left foot, step behind. And the bigger of a step you take, the more of a stretch you're going to feel. Again, you decide what's right and appropriate for you.
This isn't something I stretch out often.
Not often enough.
Super
Feeling it.
tight.
Super tight. You can tell this is real right there with you, Hazfit Tribe. Stretching with you. Driving that hip to the left this time. reaching over. Excellent. And let's hold this one for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and relax. All right, let's go ahead and move to the floor for the next set. We're going to stretch out our groin for the next one. We're using mats, depending on the surface you're working out on. You may want a mat just for comfort for your knees for this one. So we're going to open up our legs with our feet together. You go and kind of walk your hands out. And now we're going to stretch your groin by dropping your hips to the floor. Now again, depending on your flexibility level, you may have your legs much wider than us or not quite as wide. Really encourage you to make this one your own, but to feel that stretch, drop those hips. So you take those hips and bring them down, and then you're just going to hold. If you need more of a stretch, you can come down to your forearms, and then you can open your legs up a little more and drop those hips even further. You decide which variation is right for you.
I think I'll stay here.
And that's it. We all have our strengths and our weaknesses. Just not avoiding those weaknesses, but working on them.
This is like a reverse butterfly, almost.
Yep, very similar to the butterfly move.
Which I've never been good at, so.
Yeah, but this one uses your body weight for
Yeah.
so it really intensifies the move. Holding this one, not much longer. Let's just hold this one for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Come on up slowly. Walk those hands back. And we're going to move into a hip flexor stretch. Those hip flexors, again, another one that can really affect your posture as they bring you forward. We're going to do a kneeling hip flexor stretch. So let's come up onto one knee, hands on our hips, at good 90-degree angles all around. So the setup is the most important part. First thing we're going to do is contract and flex our abs. Next, we're going to contract and flex our glutes. Now, with that done, now we can gently lean forward. And it's not going to take much range of motion to come forward and really feel that stretch along your hip flexors and quads. As long as you're keeping your abs tight and your glutes tight, you're really only going to get anywhere between a ½ inch to 2 inches of range of motion on this one before everything is tight. Hold, keep those abs tight, glutes tight as you come forward.
Squeeze.
That's it. Squeeze those glutes, squeeze those abs, and gently come forward. And you'll feel that hip flexor isolated. Let's hold this one for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Excellent. One of my all-time favorite moves there. I feel like I always need that one.
Yes.
Okay, come on, back up. Opposite side now. Again, abs are tight, glutes are tight, and then gently come forward. You know, oftentimes you'll see people in a similar setup doing this move, and they'll come all the way forward to stretch that hip flexor. But if you're flexing those abs and you're flexing your glutes, not necessary. This will be much more effective in this manner.
That's right. You need to tighten your abs, push your
Nice, big,
push
relaxed,
here.
deep breaths.
Not this.
And again, don't go too crazy on this one. Doesn't take much range of motion. Let's hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Excellent. All right, next, let's stretch out a body part that's often overlooked, our wrists and hands. We're going to move into a wrist extension. So let's start with our fingers pointed back at us and our palms down from our knees. Now you're going to be very gentle with these wrist stretches until you get comfortable with them. Now for an easier stretch, you can bring those hands closer to you. For a harder stretch, a little further away. Now we're gently going to rock back and hold, trying our best to keep our hands flat on the ground. Now again, depending on your flexibility level, your stretch may look more like this, and that's okay. But you apply very gentle pressure with this one until you get comfortable with this. Does not take much. Again, our hands and wrists between texting our phones and our keyboards and driving and everything else we're doing taking a lot of abuse throughout the day. It's important that we give them that recovery time as well.
You usually only feel it when you're doing push-ups or planks or something on the ground.
Yeah, when you're feeling that pain, that's usually a sign that everything else you're doing through the day is what's really beating them up. Let's hold this one for 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, next we're going to move into a wrist flexion. So it's the antagonistic move. Again, we're going to be careful with this one. We have our fingers pointed at us. We're going to be on the top of our palms. Now gently apply pressure. Now I'm going to go all the way until my palms are flat on the ground, but you might just be like this with only your fingers on the ground and applying gentle pressure. Again, make this work for you. And if you're feeling good and you're able to apply that pressure with your palms, the top of your hands on the ground, then you can do so and gently rock back. Again, you decide which level is right for you on this stretch.
I would be very careful with these.
So key to only go to 85, 90%
of
of what you're capable of and ease into it.
Good advice.
Nice big deep breaths and just hold. Not much left on this one. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Come on up nice and slow. Feels good. All right, we're going to move to our backs for the next one. We're going to do a floor angel. So this one's going to be all about our setup. So let's start with our head flat on the ground and try your best to get your chin tucked in. And so you have your whole head on the ground, not just like this, but instead your lower part of your skull also on the ground.
Make a double chin.
That's it. Make a really nice, attractive double chin, or in my case, a triple chin. Okay. Next, we're going to bring your lower back flat on the ground as well. You don't want a big arch. So now that you have this set up, let's bring our arms and relax. We're going to rest our arms on the ground. And now let's pull those elbows slowly into our sides. Again, trying your best to keep your back flat on the ground. You're going to feel pressure in spots you never knew existed. Now let's reach up overhead. Again, trying your best to keep your back flat on the ground. Get that chin tucked. Reaching as far as you can. And slowly reverse direction. Pull those elbows down. This one's loosening up your rotator cuffs, your chest, your shoulders, your upper back, and reach back up overhead. Big reach, big full range of motion. Test that range of motion. Try to extend those arms. And now let's pull back down one more time. Pulling down from the elbows. Like somebody's got a string attached to those elbows and they're pulling down, trying to keep your arms flat on the ground the best you can. Now your variation may look completely different than ours. You only have your hands up, maybe your elbows are down. But try your best to get here, and every time you do this stretch, you'll get a little bit better. Now let's reach up one last time. Big reach. It's a great one for overall shoulder mobility. Reach, reach, reach. And relax. Excellent. Okay, let's go ahead and stay in this lying position. We're going to move into a lying arm pullover. So let's start with our hands together and arms straight up overhead. Now, again, trying our best to keep that lower back flat on the ground and our head in that chin tucked position. Let's let those arms pull up overhead and then reverse direction. Bring the arms straight up perpendicular to the ground. And let the hands fall back. Come as far back as you can, whether that's hands all the way to the ground or not quite so much. That's alright. Do the best you can. Back and forth in a nice, slow, and controlled pace. Again, keeping that chin tucked and that lower back glued to the ground the best you can. Another excellent overall shoulder mobility drill to really help you regain that posture. Nice full range of motion, and you'll see as you're going through this, you should start to improve your range of motion a little bit from one rep into the next.
Once I got past all the pops, it's gotten a lot lot better.
I had to get past those initial pops. No big deal. All right, let's go just a couple more times. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's go one last one. Pulling them back. And now we're just going to hold. Just hold here with those arms overhead. Keeping your biceps by your ears the best that you can. Arms are straight. Hands are together. Chin is tucked. Lower back is flat on the ground. I know that's a lot to ask. I'm right there with you. Trust me. And just breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Excellent.
Good stretch.
All right, now let's move on to our lower body and our lower back specifically. We're going to do a lying knee to chest stretch. So let's get both knees up and grab onto those knees and pull them to your chest. Now we're trying our best to keep that small of your back flat on the ground. So we're not rolling up, but instead keeping that tailbone on the ground as you pull your knees to your chest. And you can go ahead and bring your head to those, your head up off the ground as you pull those knees to your chest. And again, your variation might look like this, and that's all right. You do the best that you can. It's just really important to try to keep that tailbone glued to the ground and don't roll up. Otherwise, you won't be isolating the lower back.
There's an ad in the middle of the thing.
Pillows add a little pop of color or personal style without making a huge commitment.
And let's just hold this one for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Excellent. All right, for the next one, let's go ahead and let those arms relax out to your sides, and we're going to bring our knees to a 90-degree angle. Now we're going to do a lying knee twist. We're going to twist to your right side while keeping your upper back flat and glued to the
I'm
ground.
just going to mirror them.
And then on this one, you may only be able to get your knees to 30 or 45-degree angle, or you may be able to twist all the way. But I don't want you to relax your knees on the ground. And we're just going to do a static hold. It's a great one for your lower back. Again, you get to the point where you feel comfortable, you feel a good stretch, but you don't necessarily feel a big strain. Keeping those knees bent at a 90-degree angle, keeping your upper back and shoulders flat on the ground. Don't allow your whole body to roll. And let's hold this one for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. Rotating opposite direction now. Again, same move, nice and controlled. And again, if you're just at a 30-degree angle before you start to feel that good stretch, and that's all right. Make it work for you. But very important to keep that upper back flat on the ground. Don't just roll into it, because that defeats the whole purpose.
So I can't go as low on my left side as I can on my right side.
Totally common. That's why we're here working on it. Working on it together. Let's hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, let's go ahead and let that your head relax down on the ground. Feet are flat, both feet are flat on the ground. We're going to do a piriformis stretch next. We're going to stretch out your piriformis, which is right up in here, often causes that sciatic nerve pain. Also going to work your IT band. So let's take your right foot and put it up on your left knee. Now let's grab 2 hands on that right knee. We're going to pull that right knee to your left shoulder. So you're pulling it across your body. We're feeling a stretch down through your IT band, through your hip, and maybe even into that piriformis. It's a great one if you suffer from any sciatic nerve pain or IT pain. And we're just going to hold. Again, pulling across your body. So not just to the left, not just forward, but to that opposite side shoulder. And we're just holding. For 5, 4, 3, on now. Let's move into that opposite side. Get 2 hands on that left knee. Let's pull it towards our right shoulder. Making sure to take some nice, big, deep breaths in this one.
Goodness.
Keeping that left foot on your knee. You feeling this one, Claudia?
Mm-hmm. Do you have any soreness from any previous workouts?
Claudia's glutes were super sore before today's
This
routine.
will expose them.
I'm guessing your glutes are feeling good on this one, Claudia?
They are.
All right, well, must be working.
Must be. Goodness, yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. That feeling is how we know it's working. Let's hold this one for 5. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, come on up nice and slowly. We're going to move into a little yoga-inspired stretch next. Turning on over into a prone position. We're going to move into a downward dog to upward facing dog to child's pose flow.
Got that?
Did you get all that? Okay, good. All right, so from on your hands and knees, let's pop up onto your feet into a downward dog position. We're going to pull our shoulders back, bring those hips back, and we're ideally bringing those heels to the ground. Now, your variation may look much better than ours, or you may be more like this. That's okay. You make this work for you. Ideally, you're walking those feet up and feeling that stretch in your posterior chain, your calves, hamstrings, glutes, lower back, as you drive those hips backwards. All right, now we're going to dive down into an upward facing dog. Bring those hips to the floor, chin up, chest up. Now on this one, you can either stay on the balls of your feet, or you can go ahead and come down if you feel more comfortable doing so. You decide which variation is right for you. Head is up, shoulders are back. All right, now let's go ahead and come down onto those knees. Sit back. We're going into a child's pose. Head comes down, shoulders are relaxed, straight up overhead. We're sitting down onto our own calves, our own feet.
Pillows.
There's
Add a
an
little
ad
pop
with
of
1
color
minute
and
left.
personal style without making a huge commitment.
Just keep pulling back, making sure to breathe. Do not hold your breath. All right, let's go through this sequence one more time. Let's come on up, raising up into a downward dog position, walking forward the best you can, driving those hips back like somebody's behind you, pulling your glutes backwards. And as you'll see, Claudia's she's walking out right to left. You can give that a try too. Helps you isolate each individual side.
Little move I picked up from our friend Sean Veig.
That's right, I like it as well. Pulling back. All right, now let's go ahead and dive down to that upward facing dog. Head comes up. If you feel more comfortable, go ahead and do this one from your knees.
You can also squeeze your glutes in this position.
I like it.
Helps protect your lower back.
Yeah, that's a good tip.
So says our friend Sean Veig. I do a lot of his videos, as you can see.
Those are good tips. All right, and lastly, let's go ahead and come down to our knees. Pull those hips back. And moving into a child's pose.
Oh yeah, this feels nice.
I'll just go ahead and sit here and relax. Nice, big, deep breaths. This is our last move of the day. You made it. Just take a second here to be proud of what you've achieved so far today. You understand that recovery work and flexibility work are important for you to get to where you want to go, and you're here investing the time. And 5,
Said that's the
4,
last one anyway.
3.
Okay, so review of that stretch. The moves, most of the moves were good. definitely more neck stretches you can do. Instagram turned off. I'm not bothered turning Instagram back on. I don't like that he jumped back and forth a lot. I don't like the upbeat Nick Jr. type music that was in the background. I was literally expecting like Caillou to go skipping by or something. And again, like I said, you would think that I would actually enjoy somebody who talks as much as I do. But that was like watching. It sounds mean. I don't mean to be mean. They're doing their thing. They're doing a good job. There's nothing really wrong with what they're doing. But you know, the youth pastor couple putting on a program for the teenagers, trying to fit in and be cool and hip. That's what they sounded like. Or you know that the white couple that's like the head of the housing community that invites, has the house party in the backyard. They're putting on this little show. Oh, we used to do this in high school. You know what I'm talking about? That sarcastic, stereotypical, yuppie type white couple that were high school sweethearts who were in drama club or something together. You know what I'm talking about. You've seen those movies, right? Or those shows where they got the microphone and goes, "We've done this. We haven't done this in high school." And they start, you know what I'm talking. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I know you know what I'm talking about. The ones that sound like I sound like right now. It was like very stereotypically cheesy white yuppie type. I just had anyway, again, there's nothing wrong with what they did. Their stretches were good. It's a good stretch. The only real complaints I have is that they jumped back and forth. I think they missed a few things. I know they missed a few things. The ads. I've never monetized anything on YouTube. I've had things monetized because they have copyrighted stuff in them. So they've had ads on them. But I believe, if I'm wrong, someone let me know. Especially people watching on YouTube. Can't you control, if you're monetizing your own videos, can't you control where you put your ads? I believe you can, and if not, that 1000% should be the thing. Because if you're doing something that's a timed workout, there should not be an ad in the middle of it. It's the same thing watching those Watch Mojo videos or whatever, where they're in the middle of saying a sentence. Oh, and for number, and coming at number 8 is, but that right there is fine. But, they're in the middle of explaining why this is number 8, and then they go to a commercial. Shouldn't that commercial be timed? We'll be right back. Just like on TV. I think on YouTube, the ad should be timed at a proper spot. I have that issue with like IMDb TV on Amazon Prime. You go watch some of these shows that have commercial breaks. They have legit commercial breaks, and they cut to commercial nowhere near the commercial breaks. That's a completely different story. But during a workout, let's imagine that was an aerobic workout. Putting anywhere between 5 to 30 seconds worth of ads in the middle of the rubber workout, you know, while you're still doing the one actual routine. You know, like I'm doing my 20-minute workout videos, you know. I could be in the middle of one segment of that, and then all of a sudden it goes to 30 seconds. I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? You know, I can continue with what I was doing, then I come back on, then I'm off what they're off because I'm doing it differently, or do I just jog back in place and get right back? It's dumb. Fix where you put your commercials. And if you're doing something that's timed, like an aerobic video, put it in a good spot, or just beginning and end, whatever. Like, if and when if I ever get monetized on here, I'm going to make sure that those ads are not interrupting my videos, you know? And if I do, I'm going to be like, and here's a commercial break, and make sure it's timed properly, if that's possible. I don't know if it's possible. Anybody know if that's possible? I don't know. Anybody watching me at all? Anybody listen to me ramble? See, I'm doing the same thing they were doing, but I'm not doing my workout. So, somebody's here. Nobody's talking. So anyway, yeah, that's it. It's a decent stretch. So my review on that, it's a decent stretch. It could be more of a stretch. I don't think they hit the full body as they said they were. It wasn't relaxing. They may not have been going for relaxing. They should have been going for a stretch. So I think I'm probably going to do my own next week. Put on some Zen type music in the background so it's more relaxing, and I'll incorporate some things that I like on the P90X one, the Turbo Fire one, that one, and the one before, because they all had good things on them. They all had kind of goofy things on them, like the whole going back and forth like this while laying on the floor. I think it makes more sense to go back and forth like this if you're standing up, because then you can get if you're flexible, just going back to here doesn't do anything for you. See, I already feel the stretch I didn't do in that video. Go right there. There wasn't enough hamstrings, legs, you know. There was some on there. Got the calves pretty decently doing those Dorsey ones. I'm sure these ones, you know, it's basically just pulling your foot up. But yeah, that's it. Anyway, I'm done. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. I'm just as cheesy and white as they are. So, anyway, that's it for week 4. Tomorrow starts week 5, which is, again, the last week of the 1 of 30 segment. And I'm going to say this now because I'm going to say it at the beginning every week. When you write your stuff down, if you are following along, when you write your stuff down, I want you to write it down exactly the way you were doing before. So pretend like this is not the last week. Pretend that week 6 is also going to be 1 of 30. So write it down exactly the same way you would if you were going to continue the workout. So if you do one set of 30, you're like, oh, I don't think I can go higher. Just write it down this exact same thing you would last week. Put that slash next to it. Whatever you need to do to make sure you know that next week, if you did 20 pounds, you're doing 20 pounds again. Okay. If you're like, no, I can add weight to that for another round of 1 of 30. I'm going to put a plus mark next to it so I know when I come down I did 20 pounds. I'm like, you know what? I said I can do 25. I'm doing 25. So I want you to write everything down exactly the same way, because that's what I'm going to do. So when you hear me say, like, that's, you know, I'll probably say it every time too. I'm like, if we were doing 1 of 30 again, I would keep that the same. If we were doing 1 of 30 again, I would add. I would still add more. But the reason why you're going to do that is because when we switch over to a 15, everything jumps in increment. So if you think you can only do exactly what you did with 1 of 30, you're still going to go up. All right? If you think you can add weight from 1 of 30, you're still going to go up more. So a slash this week is going to equal a plus, and a plus this week is going to equal a double plus. But I still want it written down the exact same way, because you might not be ready to switch. All right, just put it that way. You might want to do this for a few more weeks. You know, say 5 weeks. I'm not ready to switch to 2 of 15 yet, so write it down exactly the same way as you would. You know, you might want to do a recovery week, and then the first week of the 2, you try the 2 of 15, and then you're like, you know what? I'm not quite ready for the 2 of 15 yet. That seems a little more intense. You still have all your notes from the previous week of 1 of 30 to continue where you were at 1 of 30. So there's a method behind the madness with writing things down exactly as you would if you were continuing the same segment. So I will reiterate that every time next week as well at the start of the workout. Mostly for anybody who's probably watching this on YouTube if they're going to and follow along. So yeah, that's it. I feel a little stretched. I feel mostly stretched out with that one. It's a decent stretch. Again, I will. It will be on the YouTube text over screen stuff that I do. The captions, or would that be captions? Would it be captions? I think it's captions. And it will also be in the description with the link to that actual video as well, to make sure they get credit for, you know, me using it. Yeah, I have nothing else to say unless anybody has any questions, and I don't think anybody does. No.